Is the mortgage industry a great career? What do I do to get started? How long does it take me to become successful? How do I know if I'll like this as a career? And all of the answers to those questions that I just posed, plus so many more, will be found just by tuning in. Whether you're thinking about entering this industry, you have a friend, a family member who you know is entering, or you yourself are a hiring manager and you need something to send to that potential new hire. This episode, well, it's for you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus. You are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC
John Coleman.
Dio, what's popping?
You know, I'm getting excited that what? Here we are. Well, we're in May. We're staring down the barrel of June.
Hot as shit.
It is hotter than balls out there. I'm not excited about that. Like, I went out and trained with my friends the other day, and we started at 7 a.m. Ended up running just a quick little 15K. So
what the fuck? That's stop. Nothing
Yes.
about that is quick or like, yeah, I'm just gonna run to the store. No.
Do you know how enjoyable it was? It was around.
How long
Lake
did that take you?
Baldwin.
An hour and a half?
Yeah, a little bit less. And I was with my buddy Carlos the whole time, so we were just shooting the shit and getting caught up on life.
What was your pace per mile?
Oh, it was a training day, so it wasn't a race day. I was probably around 9:30.
That's a semi-sprint.
Yeah, semi-sprint. No, like race day, we would have cut a minute per mile off. But this was just but no, you're talking about how hot it was? I had to take my shirt off, which I don't like to do because A, I'm pasty pale, and B, I know I'm in shape, but you have to understand, like, I'm not in race shape. So when I'm not in race shape, because I've been traveling, dude, I went to 5 cities in 4 weeks.
You should have traveled with them Ozempic shots. That way you don't have to get in the gym.
I don't think I need Ozempic, John.
Why not?
I'm pretty confident that the training that I do, I just need to maybe cut back on the alcohol and eat healthier. But no, you're talking about how hot it was?
Yeah.
I took my shirt off and I wrung it out.
Yep.
You would have thought I jumped in the damn lake
love that
and got out. Like, this is gross. That was just sweat.
Did you save the shirt?
Yeah, I saved it. Yeah, I took that thing
Hold
home.
on. Do your clothes like get moldy now? Like,
Gross.
like even
Not
when you
moldy,
wash?
Not moldy. Because I don't leave them inside my car.
I don't. Me either. But like, I'll leave it like in the washing machine, just like with the top open for like a day or two.
That's gross.
And then I'll wash it, and then like it'll smell good. But as soon as like it gets wet again, I smell that moldy must.
Yeah, the must. Yes. So it's funny you shared this. So my buddy Carlos that I train with, and there's a group of us. I mean, it's Carlos, it's Jen,
group of psychos, yes.
It's Juan and Laura. Yeah, it's like, I mean, Gio, Elise. Like, I can keep going, but like, we have a group. We call ourselves the Nomads. And we train together. They're way more hardcore than I am. So wait till you meet those fuckers, because they're like off the chain crazy. Like, I'm like, guys, I'm not getting up at 5 a.m. to go cycle with you if I don't have a race coming up. And they're still getting up at 5 a.m. to go cycle whether or not they have a race. But anyhow, Carlos said to me, he goes, man, you must love yellow. You're always wearing those same 2 yellow shirts. And I said, actually, I hate the color yellow. I hate how yellow looks on me. But because my shit gets musty the way that you're talking about, I wear the shirts I like least. So you'll never see me at a training session wearing a shirt I like a lot, because I know it's only a matter of time before I sweat enough in it. You can't get that must
When
out.
I had to share the gym, when I used to go to LA Fitness, I used to wear the smelliest shit at the gym because people would get away from me. And I love it. It smells like piss and mold when I used to walk past. You know, something that smells so bad it offends you? Yes, that was me.
You did it on purpose?
Yeah.
That's disgusting. I can't even be friends with you anymore. I think we're.
But I smell good like all the other times.
Yes.
Yeah. Except at the gym. But anyway.
But anyhow, you're asking me what's popping.
Yeah.
What I'm excited about wasn't the heat. I'm like, how did we get down that rabbit hole?
How did you get down this rabbit hole, Dustin?
No, I'm excited about Las Vegas right around the corner.
I know.
Mastermind Summit 2025. I checked in with Matt Emery recently. He says they're getting close to selling out, but they still have tickets available.
Okay, yeah.
Rooms may be tight. So if you want to stay at the Bellagio on the discounted rate, you probably should hurry up. But I'm looking forward to the event. We are talking about the 4 to 6 podcast episodes that we're going to be recording on site. I'm dialing in my keynote presentation. I'm pretty excited about that. The only thing I'm not excited about is I went looking for, the song, if you're happy, you know it, clap your hands. There has to be like a hip hop version of that. I couldn't find it on Apple Music over the weekend.
Yeah, it's not on Apple Music. It's probably on YouTube. Probably some Blues Clues shit.
No, I want it to be like hard hitting, like as if like Uncle Luke got together with
I'm pretty
Blue's
sure you
Clues.
can type in that prompt and it'll spit something out that sounds eerily similar to that.
All right. Well, I may need that for my walk-up music.
Whatever you need.
Anyhow, but no, I'm looking forward to that. And that is the last week of June, Las Vegas, Nevada, the Bellagio. The event kicks off on a Wednesday, concludes on a Friday. All the information's on our website, tloponline.com.
Yeah, and a lot of the people there will be perhaps newer loan originators looking to launch their career, so this episode is right up their alley. But before we get started, let's take a moment to hear from our sponsors.
What's the number one value in business coaching in all of America? Well, simply put, it's TLOP's originator coaching. If you want more information about how TLOP can invest in your future success, go to our website, tloponline.com. That's TLOP online.com. Click the link for our coaching session. See all of our products that we offer. And if you have questions or you want to have a one-on-one with one of our TLOP team members, go ahead and book your free 20 minutes with us and let one of the TLOP team members help you decide which of our business coaching and sales training would work perfect for you. And I know you and I have covered this topic multiple times each year for the past 5 years, and we're going to continue to do so because these are the questions that come in on LinkedIn or they come in from the website. As much as people reach out to us wanting us to speak at their event or they want us to coach them or come do a workshop for them, we also get the men and women that are like, I'm thinking about doing a career change. How do I know if this career change is for me? Or I've already decided to do a career change, but I'm scared. I'm freaked the F out. What do I need to know getting into it? I was like, cool, you know what? Let's just go ahead and like update. Let's give the people the summer of 2025 rendition of some of our greatest hits. And maybe we're going to add in a little bit of new flavor because 2025 looks way different than 2023. Just like 2027 is going to be a brand new landscape. So I think the who is like, look, if you're trying to become a mortgage broker or a mortgage loan originator, it's not a side hustle. Anyone who told you it was, they lied to you or they misled you.
Or they got in the 2007s when there's like refi booms and all you had to do was fog a mirror to get a refi or something.
Potentially, but even still, there's plenty of people who can back off their hours and work this career part-time, but that's once you've made it. Once you've made it, which typically is 5, 7, 10, or 30 years down the road, you could definitely pare things back because you know what you're doing. You have a following. You have a network. You know what's up. You know what's down. You know what's left. You know what's right. But in the very beginning, this is not a side hustle. You need at-bats. It's like somebody trying to learn a foreign language. Once you know that language and you're fluent, it's very difficult to lose it. It's like riding a bike. Once you learn how to ride a bike, it's impossible, unless you get your legs chopped off, for you to ever forget what it's like to ride a bike. And even if you had your legs chopped off, I bet you could put on prosthetics and jump back on that bike. But imagine never riding a bike and then trying to ride one with prosthetics, but you're only going to spend 2 or 3 minutes every week trying to figure out how to ride a bike. It ain't going to work. Same thing happens with this industry. So first and foremost, know that it's not a side hustle. It's for somebody that's full-time, that is obsessed with making it, and they're ready to go all in. It's also for somebody who is entrepreneurial at heart, entrepreneurial at spirit. And I'm talking about mortgage origination, processing, underwriting, compliance, marketing, all the different departments, different story. But we're talking about sales. We're talking about origination. Yes, please know that it's for someone who's entrepreneurial. It's also for people who understand that this is retail. Just like being the cashier at the supermarket is retail, working at CVS Pharmacy is retail, working at Home Depot is retail. This is retail. That means you have to deal with retail complaints. You have to deal with unrealistic expectations of the consumer because that's the world we live in.
Why do some loan officers get in the business and they don't treat it like it's retail? What do they treat it as such? Like they think they're...
Look, you were earlier complaining about trying to find someone to come trim trees at your house.
Jesus Christ. Good luck.
Yes, there are definitely plenty of bad apples in both mortgage, real estate, financial advisory, even probably CPAs and law firms where they don't understand that it is a customer service position, right? We have customers that we are serving. We have clients that we're also serving. And I think that's a big piece that people don't understand. So you understand it's entrepreneurial. Second, you understand this is a customer service retail type job. Okay. Third, you're not getting into this to do loans. You're getting in this to generate leads. You have to first be great at marketing and networking. Once you get great at marketing and networking, you've found people that can refer you business. You've found people who need and want your services. Now you have to fulfill their needs. That's when you learn how to do a loan. But it's not until you got really good at generating leads and building out a referral network that you ever had to figure out how to do a loan. If you come into this profession, you spend the next 2 years trying to learn how to do loans, but you have no loans to work on.
I'll be ready when I get my first one, though, Dustin.
You'll never get good. Look, I talked about a foreign language earlier.
Yeah.
In order for me to get really good at speaking Spanish,
yeah.
Sure, I can take 4 years in high school, including AP Spanish. I can take 3 years in college. Mm-hmm. But until I move to Costa Rica and live there for 9 months, yeah. It's going to be very difficult for me to ever become fluent in that language. Same exact thing applies to loan origination. You're never going to be a great loan originator until you go out and do a bunch of loans. So like I tell people, until you've done 10 loans, you don't even deserve the name badge that says loan officer or mortgage broker. Until you have funded 50 loans, you won't know what you're doing. Until you've done 100, you're not good. It takes 200 closings before you're ever an expert. So when you're getting started, your job should be how fast can you generate enough leads to close your first 10 so at least you're out of being an apprentice or a journeyman and you can wear the name badge that says loan officer. Then your next race is how many leads do I need to generate to fund 50 loans so I can actually know what I'm doing. Then it's how fast can I get to 100 so I can be good at what I do, and how fast can I get to 200. Okay, if it takes you longer than 5 years to get to 200 closings, you may never get to become an expert. If it takes you 5 years to get to 100, it took you 5 years to get good. So there's a chance that like you're racing. So I think where a lot of originators get it incorrectly is they think they're going to get in there and they're going to do all these different products and these programs. I got to learn about this one and that one. Like, no, you don't. No, you got to go out and serve people. You got to be really good at being nice. You got to get people to like you and trust you. And then from there, when you don't know the answer to something, you just say, hey, look, the guidelines on that recently changed. Let me take down some information, do some research, and get back to you.
You said that a lot. Like you've coached that a lot. Do you have any examples of any younger or newer loan originators that actually took heed of your advice? And
look, I give the advice because it's what worked for me. I mean, you got to think. I got started somewhere. Like my mom drives a school bus. My dad's an electrician. My two best friends lived at home with mom and dad. Mm-hmm. Those dudes were in their 20s, still living at home with mom and dad. I had no circle. Right. So like I had to get out there and hustle, which meant I had to meet people that were older than me, more experienced than me.
Did someone tell you like what you tell people, or is it something you just figured out on your own and you're just passing it along? Did someone say, hey, it's about, because I hear you say it so long, but so many people don't pick that up.
I wasn't a great student. I was a lazy student.
Word.
I was not, I didn't ace the SAT or the ACT. I got just enough to get me into that state university at a time when it was way easier to get into state universities than it is today. But when it comes to things just making sense, that common sense, no, I've always had that. So I say things that make common sense and they sound good. And that may be a talent that I have, but no one taught it to me. I was just like, crap, I don't know the answer. Mm-hmm. I don't want to come out of the gate and say, I don't know that answer. So I do know that it's factual that the guidelines do change daily, weekly, monthly. And I know that I have access to those guidelines. I just haven't memorized them yet. So yeah, for me to tell someone, hey, look, the guidelines on that recently changed. What does recently mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, if we're talking about a lifetime, recently could be a decade ago.
Did anybody tell you it's about getting another lead and not about structuring a loan? Or is that something you just learned on your own?
I learned it on my own. So John, so much of why we have this podcast is I was sick and tired of successful people hoarding all the secrets. Like, they're like, well, no one had to teach me. I figured it out. I'm like, yeah, but just because my dad whooped my ass doesn't mean I have to whoop my kid's ass.
Yeah.
You know, like there's something about leave this world better than you found it. And we've been on this mission for 5 years because I can't remember. And I've had some really good mentors. Yeah. I had a company that brought me into the industry and taught me a lot of things. And I had sales experience prior to mortgage. Mm-hmm. And I studied advertising and public relations. And when I did my study abroad program, I studied pop culture. So I'm sure along the way through my formal education or my on-the-job experience, like I had 5 internships when I was in college. every one of those internships, I'll tell you, taught me the same thing. That's not what I want to do for a living. But maybe amongst there, I probably witnessed someone behaving a certain way. I'm like, oh, damn, I like that. That was slick. But no one came out of the gates when like, hey, Dio, if you do X, Y, and Z, I promise you success. The one thing that I coached today that I learned third hand was what we call the 12-week challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Like I got the 12-week challenge from Chris England. Chris England got it from his brother-in-law, Brian Poling. Brian Poling learned about it by probably going to a Todd Duncan event. So by the time it got to me, who knows what version?
Yeah.
But I made it my own based on Brian learning it from a conference, Brian telling Chris then telling me. And I was just young, hungry, and aggressive. And I was like, look, I need to grow my referral network. I'll take on this challenge.
Gotcha.
It was like the first time I did 75 Hard, I never listened to Anthony Frasilla's podcast. No, my buddy Joey told me about it at a pool when we were getting the families together over July 4th weekend. Right? I should have listened to it because it took me 103 days to complete the 75 Hard challenge the first time because Joey told me you can't work in cheat days. And then Joey's like, did you not listen to the podcast? I'm like, no. He's like, you're a dumbass. Go listen to the podcast and start over.
Yeah.
So no one ever taught that to me. But it's something that I picked up along the ways. I'm like, look, I want to make sure people know this going into it. Like, and as a hiring manager, the last thing I want to do is hire you and you be like, this sucks. I hate it. And me not be able to say, I told you so. Like, not in a bad way. I just want to make sure I'm setting proper expectations. My job when I'm talking to a young, inexperienced, newly licensed originator, I want to scare you away. I want to tell you the cold, hard truth. So, like, if you're not ready to take this, that you're like, hey, maybe this isn't for me. Right? Or maybe you're like, oh, I'm not going to go work there because that guy's a hard ass. I'm like, no, that guy's being honest. Right. Everybody else may be able to smoke up your rear end, but I'm going to be honest with you because I only want the dogs and the crazies who are ready to sign up for a 2-year mission, right? This is a 2-year mission. That's probably the fourth thing I would share with anybody getting started. Understand it takes 2 years. 2 years of being all in, growth-oriented, obsessed, full-time before you can ever say you made it, and for some it takes 3. But for those of us that make it through those first 2 or 3 years and we have quote unquote made it because we've funded 20, 30 loans because we've made at least 40, 50, 60 grand. Oh no. Once you make it to there, I will tell you this factually. The mortgage industry currently, and it has been this way for the past decade, easiest profession to make 6 figures. Easiest. Once you make it through those first 2 years. Now, if you don't make it through the first 2 years, then duh. But once you make it through, we call it the curse of the mortgage industry. It almost becomes so easy that men and women join because they wanted to make 300, 400, 500 grand a year. But the minute they start making $110, they're like, oh shit, okay. And then they start coasting. Oh, I can come in at 10. I can leave at 2. I can work from home. I don't have to do those sales calls. I don't have to fill out TLOP's blueprint. But I would tell those same people, you're not a heart surgeon. You're not an oncologist. You're not innovating technology that's going to be purchased by NVIDIA or Apple. So you have an opportunity to make as much money as you can for the next 3, 5, or 7 years until robots take over. Why would you not want to like grab the most market share, do the most loans, make the most money so that you can save the most money because it may be temporary? What's the worst thing that happens? It's not temporary. You're able to go on a 20-year run of making great income. Then you start talking about how much better you can leave your family, your community, right? How you can retire early, the lifestyle you can lead, the amount of money you can tithe to your place of worship. Like this industry offers all of that, but you got to make it through those first 2 years. So now once you have embarked on this journey, what people need to do, okay, this is really simple. And we coach this in Originator Launch. Anybody's ever like hardcore serious about making sure they make it, I will promise you, TLOP's Originator Launch is a 16-week boot camp. It's not for everybody, and we don't take everybody. But we graduate about 4 dozen originators every year from this program. And our originators go on, like literally, I talked to Ben in Boston. Ben's going to do well over $30 million this year.
What?
Yep. Amanda in Alaska, well over $30 million this year. Right? Adam in Fort Walton Beach has his own branch, is doing 20 units a month. Right? Like so the men and women who go through launch end up becoming truly the future of the mortgage industry, those that are able to give it their all. Now, we have some people who sign up for launch. They get about 9 weeks into the 16-week boot camp, and they're like, this isn't for me, right? And that happens, I don't know, 1 out of every 10 or 12 people who sign up. But for the rest of them, no. No, they can't always be Ben, Amanda, and Adam, but we have more Bens, Amandas, and Adams than we do those that raise their hand and say, hey, this isn't for me. And usually it's this industry isn't for me because they don't want to do all the things that it takes to be successful. But when you go through it, like I'll share with you at a very high level what we're teaching these people to do. And this is for anybody who's looking to launch their career, bounce back, or level up. First thing I'm going to have you do, and this is what y'all should do when you're brand new, create a list of your top 100 VIP circle of influence, right? These are men and women that you're going to invite to your wedding, or that you did invite to your wedding. These are men and women that you would send holiday cards to. And sort them by whoever is geographically closest to you, and then sort those by whoever is the most influential in your market. You want to reach out to all 100, let them know about this exciting career that you're embarking on, and ask them to recommend or refer you to a realtor, a builder, and a financial advisor. Explain to them that, yes, although you do home loans for consumers, your clients are actually realtors, builders, and financial advisors because they can refer you. From there, you have those 100 calls that you're going to make, text messages, emails. You're probably going to be able to put together a list of your first 100 or 200 people you're going to call on. You'll have realtors, mainly. You'll have some financial advisors and maybe a handful of home builders. At which point, you have to complete the 12-week challenge. If you don't know what the 12-week challenge is, we've done 2 podcast episodes on it. Go to our YouTube channel and just search 12-week challenge. You'll find it. Or sign up for launch and we'll coach you through it. Or just become a member of TLOP's originator coaching community. And we have all of those resources at a very affordable investment available to all of our members. Okay. So you're going to then do the 12-week challenge. At which point your main goal is to end up with 200 real estate agents, maybe a dozen financial advisors, and 6 home builders. That are your targets. These are men and women that you're trying to connect with, meet with, so you can build a relationship. You want to get to know them, their business, and find ways that you can add value. How do we add value? We just did an entire podcast episode on this, John, last week, but you essentially do you build a relationship where it's your job to help them generate leads, convert leads, sell homes, make money. Like in a nutshell, that's what you're looking to do.
Yeah.
But you have to understand it's a numbers game. If I had 200 real estate agents that were on my target list, they're in my database. These are men and women that somehow I've connected with, I know I've met with. Now, those are the 200 that I send newsletters to. Those are the 200 that I'm inviting to my happy hours, that I'm inviting to my lunch and learns. Those are the 200 that I'm stopping by their office and doing pop buys. But of the 200, easily 100 of them haven't sent me a lick of business. Doesn't mean I don't market to them. Doesn't mean I don't call on them, but I just haven't received any referrals. We haven't closed anything. Of the 100 that are left, within that 100, there's probably 60 that I'm still targeting. Like, we haven't connected yet, but they are on my target list. But there's 40 that I have already met with. And of those 40, there may be 4, 5, or 6. They're my ride or dies. I'm getting a referral a week from them. I'm closing a loan every month or every other month with them. And then I have the rest that are somewhere in I get an occasional referral. I close an occasional transaction. But when I'm getting started in this industry, it starts with that circle of influence, that top 100 VIP. I leverage them to make triangle of trust referrals or recommendations to local realtors, financial advisors, and builders. I then reach out to all of those men and women, and I try to get a meeting. If I can't get a meeting, I still add them to my database, and they're still part of my daily, weekly, monthly, recurring marketing efforts. I have social media strategies, I have newsletter strategies, I have lunch and learn strategies, I have pop-by strategies, I have happy hour strategies, I have smile and dial strategies because I recognize that it's my job to get a lead. I recognize that without a network of referral sources and without leads generated daily, me being the best originator is never going to happen because I can't get good at doing loans if I don't have actual people to help and serve. So getting out of the gates It very much is leverage your circle of influence, create your call list, start calling those people, schedule meetings, engage with them on social, send them newsletters, and trust the process that you can't do this all overnight. It's going to take you 2 years and potentially 3. Mm-hmm. Another thing that I would tell every younger originator or somebody looking to level up or break through a certain barrier, you have to go where realtors are. So that's joining the local realtor association. That's attending open houses where you're popping by, you're checking in, you're introducing yourself, you're saying hi, you're letting these people know that you're available that weekend if they have a question to text you, to call you, right? Like, it's our job to build the most expansive network of referral sources. We can't do that if we suck at sales. We can't do that if we're afraid to make calls. We can't do that if we don't embrace networking. Yet I watch so many people enter this industry and leave the industry because they don't make selling and networking and marketing and lead generating their main priority. They think learning about that new DSCR loan is going to be why they're successful. But let me ask you, if you don't have a borrower who needs a DSCR loan, what good does it do to understand it? No good at all. I'd finally leave anyone who's really serious about this career with this piece of information. I can make $1 million a year with only 5 loan products. 5. I need to know conventional conforming, that's Fannie Freddie. I need to know FHA. I need to know VA. I need to know my standard just jumbo, or what we call non-conforming.
Non-QM.
No, not non-QM.
I know.
Non-conforming. And I need to have a really good, typically state bond or down payment assistance program. Those 5 loans, I can generate thousands of leads, close hundreds of loans, and make $1 million a year. I don't need the bank statement, I-10, asset depletion, construction, renovation, reverse mortgage, DSCR. I don't. It's great when I have it, yes. And products sizzle, and I love to use a product to get my foot in the door. I love to use a product to turn a no into a yes. I love to use products to help realtors generate more interest in home buying. But at the end of the day, the product is not going to be the reason why I'm successful. It's my sales effort, my ability to network, my willingness to be an entrepreneur, and also my staying power. Can I stick this out for 2 years? Am I full-time? Am I professional? And do I have a go button and a full tank of gas? If you can do all of those things and you love putting problems together, or I'm sorry, you love solving problems, putting puzzles together. If you really dig personal finance, if you love helping people and you're willing to understand it's your job to get a lead, I think this industry would be a great fit for you. But if you can't say yes to so many of those things that I just spit out, you may want to reconsider being in sales, being a mortgage broker, being a loan originator. I'm not saying the mortgage industry might not be right for you, but maybe you need to be in a sales support role, or maybe you need to be in an operational role, or marketing or compliance, but possibly not becoming the mortgage broker or the loan originator yourself. But here's the deal. If you like content like this, keep tuning in. I don't know if you just listened on Spotify or you listened on Apple, but I will say thank you. Give us a 5-star review and forward this to anybody that you know that would benefit. Go to our YouTube channel, especially if you're looking for coaching and training that is free. We drop the podcast every Monday and every Friday, but we drop training videos Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It's the Loan Officer Podcast on YouTube, aka TLOP, T-L-O-P. Our website is tloponline.com. Go there so you can sign up for our free newsletter. By getting our free newsletter, you will also get invited to one free coaching call. It's a masterclass that we offer once a month. And if you're looking for coaching or sales training, you can find our product offering also on that same website, tloponline.com. He's John Coleman. I'm Dustin Owen. You just tuned in to an episode of the Loan Officer Podcast. That's all the time we have for you today, but we do look forward to catching you on the next episode.